Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time. Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time.
Alrighty, it's time for another in the top 100 of all time for the People's Choice. Hoorah! And what's interesting is we're finishing up the top 100, going up to number 50. So next week we will start in the top 50 of all time. And I think you will be surprised at some of the games that are on here. Some games that I was not surprised at all about, and some games that I said, huh, in the top 50. All great games though, I'm sure. Let's get to today's list. Here we go.
Number 60, Forbidden Island.
Forbidden Island has beat out Rune Wars, Chess, Lost Cities, The Fury of Dracula, Scrabble. You know, it's beat out quite a few games. Why is this game doing so well? And I would guess, you know, it's on Melody's top 100 list too, is that it is a family cooperative game. Just today I was talking to my friend Sam Healy, and he came up to me and he said, man, Forbidden Island is really all that in a bag of chips. And I was surprised because Sam usually likes games that are more involved, but his family just really picked up on this. And that's what's great about this. Getting off an island that's sinking cooperatively, all working together. Tremendous component quality. Just absolutely fantastic. 2 hits in a row Matt Leacock has, Pandemic and Forbidden Island. So no surprise that this is on people's lists.
Number 59, Kingsburg.
Kingsburg is a game in which players are using dice not to move around the board, but instead they roll dice, which allows them to pick different positions. Now, this game has certainly had similar games to it, like Alien Frontiers, but Kingsburg was just so simple. You rolled 3 dice, which could let you take 3 different spots, 2 different spots, or 1 spot, depending on the totals that you rolled. Luck involved, but then choices on what to pick. A neat idea, and a game that I'm still constantly wanting to play often. And I can see why people enjoy this one so much, because the simplicity is there, and yet it offers a lot of strategy. The expansion, I don't know how expansions factor into the People's Top 100 choice, but it certainly made me enjoy the games more, and that's Kingsburg.
Number 58, Innovation.
Innovation is a game that surprised me that it's on this list, mostly because I frankly thought enough people would not like it to make it on there. Now, but at the same time, I guess that's what makes this top 100 list different than other ones. For example, on Board Game Geek, it takes all the ratings. So the 10s are balanced out by the 1s, and the 9s are balanced out by the 2s, etc. Here, all I did was ask you what your top 20 games were. So you couldn't hate on a game and give it a 1. You just tell me about games that you loved. And I know that people who like innovation love it. There are people who hate it. That is certainly true. But the people who like it really love it because there's just so much going on. It's such a chaotic civilization card game, and yet seems to really bring out the feel of building a civilization. Some very unique mechanics, the splaying, there's a lot going on in this game, and like I said, when I go to my gaming group, I can hunt down people I know who want to play Innovation because they love it. Not everyone does, but enough of you did to get it on this list.
Number 57, Tales of Arabian Nights.
Today I had kind of not a free day at school, but you know, not a lot of classes going on, and so in a lot of my classes I ran this game, Tales of Arabian Nights. I kind of modified it for a classroom setting, but the kids loved it. Every single person I played this with absolutely enjoys it, especially when you look at it and say it's such a horrible game in a sense, because you don't make a lot of decisions. I mean, well, you make a lot of decisions, but you don't know what's going to happen. Punching the beggar, stealing from the beggar, beating the beggar, hugging the beggar, buying him lunch. those all, you know, it always seems like there might be one better option, but in the game you have no idea what's going to happen. And that's what's great about this game, because it's like a choose your own adventure in a game. And I play it with kids and adults, and it is universally loved. So absolutely no surprise to see this on the list. Tales of Arabian Nights.
Number 56, Merchant and Marauders.
Despite the fact that the life of a pirate was probably quite horrifyingly bad, people are still romanticized by pirates. You know, look at the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and their popularity. And people are always looking for a good pirate game, and there's very few of them. Merchants and Marauders came close to doing it perfectly. Certainly was very piratey and involved everything from being a simple merchant to being a pirate taking out other ships to avoiding the privateers hired to hunt you down to selling goods to looking for treasure. All of this is in a game with really nice components. I'm kind of surprised it seems to have died off the radar, and yet, bam zoom, it's on this list. So obviously, it still has a lot of people who are really enjoying it. And so that is, where are we now? Merchants and Marauders.
Number 55, Glory to Rome.
But for a better artist! Now I say that because Glory to Rome is a card game that I remember first playing, and I thought, why aren't more people playing this? This is amazing. This is a fantastic game. And then I saw people on the internet say, yeah, this is pretty good. It's like Race for the Galaxy. And some people liked it better than Race for the Galaxy. And it started getting more people, and everyone said, I hate the artwork. I hate the artwork. Now, I like the artwork, but apparently I'm alone in liking those cartoony pictures. And now they've done a reprint, and it's been one of the most successful Kickstarter campaigns ever, with new artwork and just people just dying to play this. And so I'm guessing that when that new artwork set comes out next year, that this is going to shoot even higher up on the list here. But even still, 55 is nothing to scoff at. Glory to Rome, a great little card game.
Number 54, War of the Ring.
I'm curious how many of the votes for War of the Ring came from playing the deluxe version, because anyone who plays the deluxe version or buys it is obviously a fanatic at heart, so they're going to rate this game very highly. War of the Ring is a great game, but that deluxe version is just one of those wow moments because it's so fantastic. But as I said earlier, this was on my top 100 list too, is just that this game really encompasses what we think Middle-earth should be like, what the Lord of the Rings trilogy book is. It puts everything in. I was listening to an old podcast where this had just come out, and I was raving about it 6 years ago, and I still think it is a game that's going to hold its weight, and we will be looking at this game in 20 years probably as a classic. No surprise to see it here on the list.
Number 53, Space Alert.
Here's another game I'm surprised to see on the list just because I didn't know that many people like this game. Space Alert is a fun game, but it's very stressful because you're on a spaceship and there's this pre-recorded computer voice on a CD track telling you, time's running out, you just lost communications, hurry up, enemy ship approaching, and then different cards, and each game is random, but there's this constant, it's real time, and players are struggling and trying to figure out what to do, and then when you're done, you turn over all the cards, and you see if you survive the attacks from the aliens that are attacking your spaceship. It's very, very fun. I like it quite a bit, easily in my top 200, but, I played it with some people, and I just couldn't stand that real-time aspect of it, but obviously enough people like it and made the list. That's great.
Number 52, Tichu.
We now enter the zone of the obsession. Tichu is not a bad game. I like it. It's a good trick-taking game. But the people who like Tichu love it. I've seen Tichu on many people's top 10 lists. I go to conventions and people play Tichu till the cows come home. It is crazy, these Tichu-loving people. I'm not sure why it isn't rated in the top 10 games. Maybe just because there's a lot of people who are kind of mad about it, but the people who like it, and several of those obviously watch these videos, which is why it's so high on the list. It certainly is a ladder climbing game or trick-taking game, and to me it's kind of like a mixture of the two, and it is certainly one that a lot of people love quite a bit. Teach you. And also I'd like to say, I like to teach you. Actually, I don't like to say that, but it's cool to hear.
Number 51. Last Night on Earth.
Apparently, from the renewal of The Walking Dead, I heard today is getting a 3rd season, and comic books and game zombies are very popular. And this is, as far as I can tell here, the most popular zombie game there is. It's the highest one on this list, and that is Last Night on Earth, the zombie game. There's a lot of zombie games out there. Probably the most famous is Zombies itself, but this one kind of made a name for itself because it let some people play the zombies and some people play the humans, and it kind of had this storyline behind it. In fact, you know, they took pictures of actors and put them in the game, and just there's like scenarios and many different scenarios. They copied this with some of their other games, and Flying Frog came out with other horror style games, but this one is still the one that I have heard the best about. I still see people playing this in my gaming group. People just like zombies, and so that's Last Night on Earth, the zombie game. Well, we've made it through the top 50 from this list, or the first half, 100 to 51. Only 50 more games to go, Mr. Batman, or Mrs. Batman, I guess I should say. Some great stuff coming up. I'm looking at these thinking, wow, you know, it's hard. I can't say anything negative, really, about any of these games. They're all great games. We got some more party games coming. We got some war games coming up. We got card games, gateway games, Euro games. There's all kinds of neat stuff on this list. But you're just going to have to wait till next week to see what it is. Meanwhile, you can check out my Top 100 and Melody's Top 100. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
And I'm Amy Vassell. And I'm Vassell.
We'll see you then.
Dear, dear.